Friends, this is Julie Tillman. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some mixed media card making. We're going to make this background with an emboss resist and some distress stains. I am playing with the Love from Lizi February card kit. This is the Tea with Tilda kit, and I'm using the stamp set. We're going to use this circle frame to frame our sentiment, and also this floral image for our main motif. And we will be using the stencil, the Dottie stencil from the card kit, as well as some embellishments from the card kit. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start our project off with some mixed media paper because I'm going to be using some sprays. So you need a paper that will accept a little bit of wet medium. I am using the Dottie stencil from the kit and some white pigment ink with a blending brush, and I'm just putting this on from that top corner to the bottom quarter diagonally. I'm not being perfect, just trying to get just a little background with these dots. And then I did use an anti-static powder tool to make it so that the hopefully the embossing powder will stay mainly in the areas that I stenciled. I'm gonna tap off any excess. It's okay if we have a few little extra strays because it's mixed media. There's always splatters and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just heat embossing this, just moving the heat tool around so that it gets heated in all the different spots. I like to turn my paper occasionally just so that the heat comes from a different direction and you get the entire spot. I am now spritzing that with water, and I'm going to use a tumbled glass distress spray. Well, it's actually distress stain from when they first came out in the dauber form, and I transferred it to a spray bottle. And so I'm just trying to get a base layer of color down with that lighter blue, and then I'm going in with Uncharted Mariner Distress Spray Stain and adding some in, adding a little water to make it move, and then I don't want too much color right now. I'm just trying to build up my layers, so I blotted some of the color off, and I am going to heat set this and add a little water because this is distress ink. It's going to react and lighten up in some areas and give me some depth and dimension texture. So just going in with a little bit more spray, a little bit more heat, just getting it how I feel it's going to be a good background for our focal image. I am splattering on with the nozzle of the spray bottles, just that Uncharted Mariner, and then some of the tumbled glass. We'll hit that with the heat tool once again. Just make sure things are dried when you do your layers. And blotting off to make sure everything is just completely dry. Now I'm going in with an anti-static tool to this vellum circle that I've cut, and I am going to emboss in white that circle frame from the Dottie stamp set. I'm using that white pigment ink again and white embossing powder. And I'm going to ink this up a couple times just to make sure that the embossing powder will get to the entire design. And then it's just a matter of picking it up without smudging it, and I'm using tweezers for that. And then I'm going to apply the embossing powder to it, and then we'll heat set that. Once again, any little stray spots you can kind of tap off or brush off, but it's okay if you have a little bit of imperfection in your cards. That's the beauty of mixed media and the beauty of handmade crafting. So now I'm going to color up this flower. I am stamping in alcohol safe ink on the alcohol safe white cardstock that is included in the kit. And I'm going in with Copic markers in B99, B95, and B93. First laying down my darkest color, just where the shadows would be and where things meet up. And then blending that out with my mid-tone so I don't have harsh lines. And then I'll be going in with the lightest color. I'm also going to add in some dots into that, like, I don't know, it's like a baby breath spray or something in my mind. So I wanted a little bit of blue there. Going back in for another pass with that darker color, deepening those shadows, and then blending it out. I was not very precise here. I made lots of boo-boos, but I have a best friend in my arsenal, which is a white gel pen, so I'm not too worried about going out of the lines. I'm going to use it here also to highlight the lightest parts of those flowers and give it a little dimension, and then clean up any of those edges that I kind of made boo-boos on. So the lesson here is things do not have to be perfect. I love that quote that's like, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. It's just a really, really great outlook on life. So now I have decided on the sentiment. I'm going to use that I'm just Dottie about you sentiment, and I'm going to emboss that. I'm just making sure I have enough room for my focal flower to kind of rest inside of the circle and still be able to read the sentiment. So inking up with pigment ink again, and then we'll emboss it with the white embossing powder. You could do this with a clear embossing powder. You could even do that first emboss resist with the clear embossing powder. I just prefer the white pigment ink. I just think it sticks to the paper a little better and makes it easier for the embossing powder. I'm going to add this focal flower onto the vellum circle with foam tape adhesive, and I just wanted it to pop up just a little bit, just to give a little bit extra dimension. And I love the way the vellum looks with a background like this, so you can still see through it. But I decided I wanted just a little bit more cloudiness, I guess. So I'm doubling up that layer, that circle of vellum, so it's a little less transparent. And then I am cutting down my panel to I believe 3.75 inch by 5 inch. And I'm just going to take a paper distresser and distress the edges of this paper. You just don't want it to be, again, we don't want it to look perfect. So use varying amounts of pressure and just kind of, rough it up a little bit. You don't have to have a paper distresser. You could use, just scissors that are open and tear up the paper. You can use your fingers, whatever you want. Then I am just putting the liquid adhesive just where there's already something so that it doesn't see through. It's when I glue it onto this page. And then I am just pressing that down, making sure it's all down. And then I'm going to take those rhinestones from the kit and add those to this card in a triangle kind of formation. This is usually the hardest part for me, is just kind of making sure those embellishments look random but also intentional. So there is the finished panel. We are going to add this to a card base. I love the top folding card bases, so that's what I use here. And I'm just going to add that to the card, and we will be finished with this project. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, I'd love it if you'd hit that thumbs up button. As I mentioned before, this was done with the Love from Lizi February card kit. It is called Tea with Tilda. It is available as a monthly subscription or as a one-time purchase on their website. I will leave a link below in the description box to the Love from Lizi website, and I hope you'll go give it a look-see. Thanks again for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.